Hey guys, this is the Movie Hour. I'm your host Danny, and alongside me, my co-host and sister Vanessa.
Hello.
The Movie Hour is your friendly neighborhood podcast where we talk about and make fun of all our favorite films, from the good, the bad, and the downright ridiculous. In this episode, we'll be talking about the 2000 satirical psychological horror film American Psycho. So, get your tickets, grab your popcorn, sit back, make yourselves comfortable, and enjoy this episode of the Movie Hour. American Psycho is a 2000 satirical psychological horror film. It's directed by Mary Herron, who, to be honest, I wasn't too familiar with her work. I've never really heard of her. She also directed many other films, such as I Shot Andy Warhol, The Moth Diaries, and Charlie Says, to name a few. I haven't seen any of her other work, but I will definitely be checking some of it out. I mean, I love this film, so I'm pretty sure I'll like some of her other films.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those, but I'll probably tune in too.
Yeah, I'll put those on my watch list. This is a Bret Easton Ellis novel adapted to film. I haven't read the book yet. That's been on my read list or want to read list for a long time, and I just haven't got to it.
Fair enough.
The book has garnered notoriety for its graphic violence, which has led to it being censored in multiple countries and has been cited as a connection to real-life crimes, such as the Strathfield Massacre in Australia, which Wade Frankum killed 9 people, including himself, and he left 6 wounded at a local shopping center. That's always like a common theme with movies and video games, especially video games. I guess now more recently, but that they're always linked to violence.
Rap music,
music.
killing the youth.
What do you think about that? I don't buy into it.
I just think that's just a crutch to people.
I think so. I mean, I used to play like Grand Theft Auto and
Scarface. Shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they always say like, well, kids can't decipher between reality and fiction, and I think you're kind of calling kids dumb, or you're selling them short, because they do know.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
But yeah, anyways, I don't like that crutch, but yeah, it's always been linked. I don't know if you remember or if you even heard of this one. I guess you wouldn't have remembered because this is even before I was born. So.
Ooh.
But when Chucky 3 came out, was linked. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. That was linked to a murder in Britain with these 2 little boys that were like 9 and 10 years old at the time. Okay. They kidnapped a baby.
Yeah, I do. I have seen videos on that.
And anyways, they linked the Chucky 3 to that murder, which again, these guys are just evil. They're just little,
right.
Actual devils. But so yeah, I don't really like that. But anyways, I guess it makes it more notorious.
Right.
Makes people want to watch it more, I feel like.
Yeah, that should drum up some views.
Yeah. So the film's cast includes Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman.
Hot.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that at least once in the...
Yeah. I said it.
I knew you were going to say that once.
Yeah, I said what I said.
Willem Dafoe as Detective Donald Kimball. Jared Leto as Paul Allen. Reese Witherspoon as Evelyn Williams. And Chloe Sevigny, as Jean, Patrick's secretary, just to name a few. So it has pretty star-studded cast.
Yeah, that's a good cast. Yeah. I love Reese Witherspoon's character. Yeah, I love Evelyn.
Yeah. I actually like Jared Leto's.
Oh, I like him too.
He's like your pompous.
So.
I knew you were going to say that one too.
I mean, what? No.
He's like your pompous Wall Street guy, so I like his character.
Yeah, I like it too.
It has a runtime of 102 minutes, so an hour and 42, so just under the 2-hour mark, and can be watched on Netflix and Amazon Prime with subscription as of the time of this recording. So if you haven't watched it, think about it. I also wanted to say Merry Christmas to everybody, and Happy Holidays to those that don't celebrate or celebrate something other than Christmas. We're all inclusive here at the Movie Hour.
We are. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you and your family from us.
Right. Yeah, this is when this podcast is going to be published or uploaded or whatever you want to call it. It's going to be, I believe, the 26th.
Yeah.
So right after Christmas. But, as this is the busiest time of the year, just remember to try to make some time and... enjoy the little things in life and try to be surrounded by your family, friends, pets, whoever makes you happy. Take some time off of work if possible. Enjoy this time and, do what makes you happy this holiday season. Whether it's watching movies, reading, crocheting, baking, whatever it is, enjoy with those that you love the most. That's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, definitely unplug. Don't read your emails.
Yeah.
Just be surrounded by your people or your pets or whoever, honestly, whoever makes you happy. And enjoy it. Enjoy the special holiday time with some good food, good people, good drinks, if you're into that, all the good stuff.
Exactly. Well said. So, anyways, Merry Christmas from the Movie Hour to you guys. So, as we dive in, be warned that there are spoilers ahead, so without further ado, let's begin. The film begins in 1987. Great year.
Very good year.
We are introduced to New York investment banker Patrick Bateman, whose life revolves around dining at trendy restaurants while keeping up appearances with his fiancée, Evelyn, and his circle of wealthy and shallow associates, most of whom dislike him and he dislikes them. And right off the bat, these guys are your stereotypical high-end New York, Wall Street,
Finance bros.
Finance bros, yeah, exactly. They're the guys that, at least in this movie, are trying to be deep, sensitive to issues. Right. But honestly, they don't care.
No.
They're just into material
yes.
Possessions and just what they look like on the outside and who spends the most money.
Yes.
Right? So
pretty much.
Yeah, so I really like it. Just from the beginning of the movie, you already know what you're getting into.
Right.
We also get a scene of Patrick Bateman at the bar telling the bartender how she's ugly and wants to kill her. However, she doesn't hear. And this is like a common theme that happens in this film. Which, when I first watched it, I wasn't sure if that's like, maybe she didn't hear because there's like a lot of people in the background.
Right.
But later, anyways, we find out that it's for a reason.
Right. Dun, dun,
right.
Dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So we then get introduced to Bateman's morning routine, who, if we're being honest, Patrick Bateman is the original Get Ready With Me YouTuber.
Yeah, definitely.
Going through his beautification routine, exercise routine, designer wardrobe, and expensive furniture, all in great detail. He lives in the American Gardens building on West 81st Street on the 11th floor, and he is 27 years old.
Wow. This guy's got it all.
And, I haven't read the book, but I know about it. And I know, like, a lot of the chapters are just, like, Bateman going into details about his watch and going into, furniture and shoes and all this little detail. Which in the movie, you don't get too much.
Yeah.
Because I guess that would drag it on and, doesn't transfer from book to film well. But in the book, there's a bunch of just BS.
Right.
Honestly.
Materialistic.
Right.
Very, very materialistic.
Right. He also frequently discusses his music collection, which include Huey Lewis and the News, Phil Collins / Genesis, and Whitney Houston, to name a few.
The guy's got taste. He likes what he likes.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Phil Collins, but I really like Whitney Houston and Huey Lewis.
Yeah, Whitney Houston's awesome.
Yeah, she's got a great voice. One of the great singers of all time.
Rest in peace.
She took a song that was Dolly Parton's.
Love me some Dolly, too.
and Dolly Parton sings that great, but Whitney just takes it like another step up.
Man, yeah, she killed it.
Yeah. So,
no one could do it like her, let me tell you that.
Yeah, so, that's how great you are when the song's not even yours, but, most people would say, yeah, that's a Whitney Houston song.
It belongs to you.
So, and also going forward, most of the time I'm just going to be calling Patrick Bateman just Bateman, just to make it easier. Or Patrick, I guess, interchangeably, but,
Same person.
Same person, right. We also see that he is at his office, and I really love this time because every time that we see Patrick is at work, all his associates, they're never working.
No, they're just shooting the breeze.
Yeah, they're always chilling, they're always listening to music, they're always smoking, they're never working.
Gosh.
And I really like that because I feel like that's like the truth with these upper management guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like they just don't do nothing.
Yeah, they're not carrying the bulk.
No, but somehow they're always busy in quotation marks.
Yes.
Somehow always busy, but and then we span to him at dinner, spewing a bunch of nonsense about how he's sensitive, but in reality he doesn't care. I think a common theme is that Bateman and also his associates, they think that they're these deep, sensitive guys, but in reality they're not.
They're shallow.
But they talk about issues like, oh well, the war in the Middle East is a tragedy, and whatever.
Yeah, sure.
It's things like that which they don't care and they don't even know about.
Yes, exactly.
So Bateman and his associates flaunt their business cards in display of vanity. And I don't know if you caught this, but everybody's a vice president.
I did see that.
Everybody's a vice president. And here's one that you probably didn't catch. So they work in mergers and acquisitions, right? Well, all of their things, acquisition is spelled incorrectly on all their cards.
I did not know that part.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
All of them were spelled wrong.
So, oh, wow.
To me,
that's a little tidbit.
Yeah, I feel like it could have been done on accident, whoever.
Right, nobody checked.
Right, nobody checked. But honestly, I feel like these guys don't work in that. They don't really know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
And it's just like a little detail they don't even work.
Yeah, that's a good theory.
Which I think earlier in the film, Evelyn, who's the fiance, says why don't you just quit? Your father basically owns the company.
Right.
Yeah. So to me, it's just that's why Bateman doesn't do nothing, because his dad runs it. He just got some dummy position.
Because I want to fit in.
Can we just talk about how much quotable dialogue this film has?
Yeah, this film's iconic, yo. I swear, this movie's so funny. It's so good. It was made in the best year ever. So
that's true.
It is. 2000%.
But yeah, I just think it's funny. And then I don't know, this film just has so much dark humor, and it just has a lot of quotable things. This is one of the films that I think, other than maybe The Godfather, this has the most quotable things.
Yeah, it is very, very memorable.
And in our personal life, me and Vanessa are always just throwing out American Psycho quotes.
That's so true.
So, the associates are flaunting their business cards, enraged by the superiority of co-worker Paul Allen, who's Jared Leto. His card is just this wonderful, masterpiece, basically.
Yes.
And I think it also pisses off Bateman that he confuses him with another colleague, Marcus Halberstram. Right? So in a fit of rage, Bateman murders a homeless man and kills the man's dog. So, poor guy, poor doggy.
Aw, I know. They didn't deserve that.
Nah, they didn't deserve that. And all just because of a business card.
That's tough out here.
It's tough out here. Later, we go to a Christmas party, and Bateman makes plans to have dinner with Paul Allen, who mistakes Bateman again for Halberstram. Bateman gets Allen drunk at dinner.
Right.
This is at the dinner now. Bateman gets Allen drunk and lures him back to his apartment. And I think it was really funny that during the entire dinner, Allen basically insults Bateman.
Oh, yeah.
Unknowingly.
Yes, right. Because he thinks he's someone else.
He thinks he's someone else, right. So while playing Hip to Be Square on the stereo, Bateman delivers a monologue to Paul Allen about the artistic merits of the song and of Huey Lewis and the News, and then murders him with an axe, which is probably the most famous scene in this film.
Great scene.
Yeah, great scene. He disposes of Allen's body, which again is hilarious because he drags the body through basically a apartment lobby.
Right.
And there's blood trail, because he's just dragging the body in a trash bag or whatever.
Yes.
And he's dragging it, and there's a blood trail. And then he picks it up, which is how.
Right, yeah, dead body weight.
Yeah, he's a grown person. And then he somehow puts the bag into the taxi, but there's no blood.
Mm.
So right there,
that's true.
There's a bunch of symbolism of whether this is all real or all in his head.
Yes, very inconsistent.
Yes.
I think Patrick Bateman is definitely a great example of an unreliable narrative.
Perfectly said.
Yeah.
He's do you remember I don't know if you ever read it, but Telltale
Yeah. Yes.
Heart.
Yes.
Right. That's a Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, that's a good poem.
And that's like, I don't know, that was like our first introduction in high school to an unreliable narrator.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah.
No. But yes, very unreliable. I think when you watch the movie, well, if you watch it for the first time, I think it's easy to look over certain things like that, little detail.
Right.
But I think obviously once you make it to the end, it's kind of a full circle, and you're like, wait a minute, things aren't as they seem.
Right.
Which is why I think this movie's so fun to watch.
Yeah, you know, this film, I don't know if I would call it that. It's probably not, but there's like a lot of surrealism.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I would say that's pretty accurate.
You know, and weirdly enough, I don't really like surrealism films.
Really?
No, I just think they're, what's the word? Well, for one, confusing.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. And kind of artsy, you know.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm just not into that, you know.
Sure.
I like a good story or a good character.
Yeah.
Right? But all this stuff, you know, it's just weird. And I don't know if you ever heard of this director. Well, he's one of the famous directors, but it's David Lynch.
Yes.
He has his films are all about surrealism. You know, he has a film called Eraserhead and Mulholland Drive, and
yes, it's on my watch list.
Yeah, mine too. That one's hard to find streaming, but
yeah.
And Blue Velvet, you know, those are the three most famous ones, but they're all surreal. I saw a little bit of Eraserhead, and honestly, I didn't know what the hell was going on. And I was like,
"What's going on?"
It was weird. There's like a misformed baby, and I'm like,
scared.
You know what? I'm not gonna watch this.
Good. That's funny.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't really like surrealism, but I think it works well in this movie.
Yeah.
Where I don't think it's like too confusing.
Right. It's very palatable.
Yeah. Exactly. So, we then go to Bateman in Paul Allen's apartment, and he's staging the situation, packing his luggage, and leaving a voicemail.
Right.
To make others believe that Paul Allen has run off to London.
He's covering all his bases.
Right. So, seems like the perfect crime, basically. However, Bateman is later interviewed about Paul Allen's disappearance in his office by private detective Donald Kimball, who I really love this scene. And Bateman is like the worst example of trying to keep it cool.
Right.
Like his interview is the worst I've ever seen. Like
this is what not to do.
It's like a little what not to do in the interview.
Yes.
He's just very jittery.
Yeah, not calm, cool, and collected as he maybe wants to be.
Right. And I don't know if you know, but Willem Dafoe, who plays Donald Kimball,
like him.
Yeah,
he's a really good actor.
Yeah, he really is. He really is.
He's still kicking it. He's an old man.
Hey, good
for him.
He's the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
You ever seen Lighthouse? That's a good one.
I like him in the Florida Project.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's in that one. I haven't seen that one.
That's a good one. What else? He was in another movie I just saw recently, but I can't think. But yeah, I like him.
He was in the one with Emma Stone. What is it? Poor Things?
Oh, I didn't see that.
No?
No.
It's okay. I mean, I liked it. It's like a modern day Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
I think you would like it.
Okay.
I think, well, just for me.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I didn't like is there's a lot of nudity. Like a lot.
Really?
A lot.
Okay.
Like, a lot. So, it's kind of hard to watch it.
Yeah.
Just because, I got a family here, so, obviously, those are not the best movies to be watching.
Ooh.
But it's a good movie. It's a modern day Frankenstein.
All right.
Yeah, so
I did not know that. I'll have to watch it.
It's on Hulu.
Cool thing.
So I'd recommend that one for you.
All right.
But yeah, I don't know if you know, but during this scene, the director, Mary Hutton, I believe, or Herron, she makes Willem Dafoe do 3 takes.
Okay.
So one where he knows that Bateman is the murderer.
Okay.
The second one where he's like 50-50 if Bateman is the murderer.
Okay.
And the third one is that he has no idea Bateman is the murderer.
Okay.
So then they splice all those scenes together. That's why if you ever seen, he kind of is like, yeah, and then like You don't know that.
Yes.
It had like a different tone, and that's because he did it 3 different times, and they just spliced it.
I did not know that. That's fun.
So that's a fun little fun fact.
Yeah.
Cool. So during the night, Bateman takes 2 prostitutes. This is after his interview. He takes 2 prostitutes whom he calls Christy and Sabrina to his apartment and explains to them the improvement he saw in the band Genesis / Phil Collins. After they moved away from progressive rock towards a more pop rock sounding, beginning with the album Duke. They have sex, and Bateman tells them to stay, while taking out instruments he uses for bodily harm. In the next scene, they leave his apartment, bloodied and injured. So, this scene had to be cut down because it wasn't like more, I guess, graphic.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, they had to cut out, I think, like 7 to 10 seconds of it.
Okay.
Because if not, they were going to get the NC-17 rating, which is like a death rating, because, that takes a lot of audience away.
Sure.
So anyways, they had to cut that scene down a little bit.
Interesting.
To make it a rated R movie.
All right. Another fun fact. Right. You're coming in hot with us.
I know,
like
right? And, Bateman, if he was into guys, he would be a great addition to a Diddy party.
Yeah, he would. Oh, yeah.
Oops. Too soon?
Ooh. That wasn't politically correct.
The next day, Bateman and his colleague speak shallowly about women, and their colleague, Lewis, reveals his new business card. Bateman tries to kill Lewis in the restroom of an expensive restaurant, but cannot bring himself to strangle him. Lewis mistakes the attempted murder for a sexual advance and declares his love for Bateman, who flees in disgust. So,
the scene's so funny.
It's hilarious, and these dark comedy bits throughout.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I like how he washes his hands with the gloves on.
Yeah, right? What is going on?
Supposedly that's supposed to be I don't know. Supposedly it's supposed to be like a sign that he's uncomfortable with homosexuality because he could be a closet.
Ooh. Yeah, that could be a theory.
Again, I'm not too much into these movie theories where they make all these crazy ones, but I can kind of see that one.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
not like out of the realm.
Right. So, after murdering another prostitute, so Bateman enjoys his prostitution.
Yes, he does. He indulges.
He invites his secretary, Jean, to dinner.
I like Jean.
Yeah, she's nice.
Yeah, she is very nice.
She's very nice. And she takes up with a lot of his misogyny.
Yeah. Right. Honestly, yeah, she does.
Jean suggests going to Dorsia, which enrages Bateman, but internally.
Yes.
So, honestly, the real villain in this movie is Dorsia.
Yeah, honestly, it's so true. It's like the root of every issue here. No.
Dorsia's is a very expensive restaurant that I really like the fact that we'd never see what it looks like.
Yeah, that's
inside
true.
Or nothing.
Yeah.
It kind of leads to the mystery of, is it really this great,
Right, very it just, use your imagination.
Right.
What would a great restaurant look like?
Right.
That's it.
That's it. So, yeah, I really like that song. Anyways, after suggesting that she meet him at his apartment for drinks, when Jean arrives, Bateman, unbeknownst to her, holds a nail gun to the back of her head while the two converse. When he receives an answering machine message from his fiancée Evelyn, he asks Jean to leave. So, I was going to ask you, why do you think at the end he didn't murder her?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like she hasn't done anything to make him mad.
Right.
I
mean, she said she suggested going to Dorsia.
True, but I don't think she did that knowing that was going to set him off.
Right.
Unlike his colleagues where they're kind of, okay, for like the business card scene, right? They're obviously showing off. They know that whoever has the cleanest, quote unquote, most fancy, expensive business card is going to win that said argument.
Right.
So that I understand that could set Patrick off, obviously. But I think with Jean, she just lays low. I think she, in a way, kind of knows her place in that, environment. And I feel like, I don't know, she just treads lightly.
That's interesting. I have a different theory.
Go ahead.
My theory is that he actually sees Jean as a woman. Well, first as a woman and as a human. Okay. And a lot of these prostitutes he picks up, he doesn't really see them as that. It's just more of an object to him. And the reason I believe this is because throughout the film, you know, we've seen Jean before this scene, right?
Yes, yeah.
Throughout the film, but you know, it seems like Bateman's always complimenting her. Yeah. Well, sometimes insulting her at the same time.
Right, but something like that.
Right, and he actually has like nice things to say about her. Where she's like, "Oh, you look nice today." Or, yes. You know, you would look better if you had this.
You're right.
Right, and I don't know. To me, it seems like a little bit of humanity hit him in that moment. Yeah. Like maybe this is like she's more than just a right. You know, an object. Sure. Because he doesn't kill his fiance.
Yeah, that's true. Right. That is true.
So that's kind of my theory on it.
Again, I like it.
Not 100% sure, but anyways, that's what
theory.
I just play an analyst.
Me too.
Right. So Kimball meets Bateman for lunch and tells him that he is not under suspicion. Ooh. Which is so weird to me because, you know, if I was the guy interviewing him, I'd be like, yeah, this guy's it.
There's something going on with this guy. That's what I would think. If he didn't do this, he did something else.
Yeah, he's a mess. Yeah. Let's just say that.
Right.
Bateman later invites Christy, which is one of the prostitutes he tortured earlier, and she's frightened at the sight of him. Right. But is willing to go after I guess Bateman basically says, "I got a lot of money for you."
Yeah, a little financial pull right there.
Right. And also an acquaintance, Elizabeth, they go to Paul Allen's apartment for sex. Right. There he discusses Whitney Houston. And just like if you actually pay attention to what he says with Huey Lewis and Phil Collins, it just is nonsense. It's just pure nonsense that he spews about it, you know? Right. And it's funny because in one of the scenes, or in this scene, he says that, did you know that Whitney Houston had 4 #1 hits on that song? Right. Well, from my research, that was only 3. Oh. #1 hits. All right. So. Anyways, I guess gave her a softball to hit.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
And it's funny because Elizabeth is like, "You listen to Whitney Houston?"
You listen to Whitney Houston?
I'm like, "Yes, ma'am."
Maybe. Depends who's asking.
The greatest love of all?
Yeah.
While in the act, Bateman kills Elizabeth, and Christy runs away, discovering that there are multiple female corpses in various rooms. As she searches for an exit. A naked Bateman chases her while wielding a chainsaw and drops it on her head while she's fleeing down stairs. Right. And, you know, I don't know if you caught this, but when he's running with the chainsaw, it looks familiar to Leatherface.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Well, in one of the scenes where he's trying to get a reservation to Dorsia, he's watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the background.
Yes, right? I do vaguely remember that.
So, anyway, that's a little nod to that.
Yeah, definitely.
And to me, this scene, I don't know, basically solidified in my head that this is all in Bateman's head. That this is not real.
Yes.
You know, because how are you going to be walking around in an apartment building that has hundreds of people,
other tenants
with a chainsaw?
Right. Nobody is bothered.
Right. Naked, bloodied.
Right.
There's a naked, bloody girl running around. Yeah. She's screaming.
Yes.
You drop it and you scream and nobody comes out. So this is how I knew it was just, you know, in his head.
Right. A turn for the viewers.
Right. The next day, Bateman breaks off his engagement with Evelyn,
Harsh.
Who doesn't
No, I'm sorry.
who doesn't even realize Bateman is saying that he's a serial killer. And she's just upset of the appearances, even though she also cheats on Patrick.
Yeah.
I think there's like another film, I can't remember the name, but I think where Reese Witherspoon, her boyfriend, husband, fiance, whatever it is in the movie, he also takes her to a nice restaurant and dumps her there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, you know, she has a bad luck going to
right. To restaurant. Yeah, don't go to restaurants anymore.
Or wear, what is it, like non-tier?
Yeah, waterproof.
Mascara.
That's hilarious.
So, the next sequence is very strange, and this is kind of where I get the sense that it's surreal.
Right.
This next sequence of events. But that night, he uses an ATM. He finds a stray cat,
Aww.
and the ATM then displays the text, "Feed me a stray cat."
Right.
So I'm like, okay,
that's not real.
That's not real,
yes.
right? As he prepares to shoot the cat, which again, Bateman checks off all the things of being a serial killer.
Definitely.
He's cruel to animals, lacks empathy.
Yes.
Can be charming at times.
Ooh.
So he has most of these things. But yeah, as he prepares to shoot the cat, a woman sees and tries to stop him. He shoots her and lets the cat go free.
Wow.
A police chase ensues, but Bateman destroys the police cars by shooting their gas tanks, fleeing to his office. Bateman enters the wrong office building, where he murders a security guard and a janitor. So this is, like I said, this is a weird sequence.
Right.
When I first saw it, I was like, what's going on?
Right, yeah. Really, what is going on?
Yeah, what's going on here? In an office he believes is his, Bateman calls his lawyer, Harold, and frantically leaves a lengthy confession on Harold's answering machine.
Right.
Basically taking responsibility for Paul Allen's murder. The following morning, Bateman visits Allen's apartment, expecting it to be full of decomposing bodies that he leaves there in the middle of a police investigation, but is surprised to see that it is vacant, freshly painted, and for sale.
Yes.
All right. The realtor tells him to leave because Bateman is saying that that he's looking for Paul Allen.
Right.
And I believe she says he's never lived here.
Yeah.
Right. As Bateman goes to meet with his colleagues for lunch, he sees his lawyer there and a horrified Jean obviously not in the room, but finds detailed drawings of murder, mutilation, and rape in his office journal.
Scary.
Yeah. Imagine seeing that.
I'd never come back.
A normal, I guess your coworker or whatever, you're like, scared. Would you report them?
I'd have to.
Yeah.
They're gonna kill all of us, if not me.
Yeah, I hate to be the snitch, but yeah, you're gonna.
But yeah, this is exactly why people shoot other people.
Yeah, that or I'm gonna bring my gun to work too.
Yeah, that too.
Bateman sees his lawyer, Harold, at a restaurant and mentions the phone message that he left the prior night. Harold mistakes Bateman for another colleague and laughs off the phone message confession, basically saying that he already had dinner with Paul Allen in London days earlier.
Right.
And basically says that it's just a joke because Bateman is a wimp and could never do that.
Right.
He said, maybe Bryce, which is like his frenemy.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of like a frenemy.
Yes. That's hilarious.
A confused Bateman returns to his friends. They discuss dinner reservations and muse about whether Ronald Reagan is a harmless old man or a psychopath like Bateman himself. Ooh. In a final voiceover, and I love this voiceover, he realizes that he will continue to escape punishment which he deserves, and that there has been no catharsis. That's a big word.
That is a big word.
He feels that he is so unremarkable. In my head, I feel like he thinks he's so unremarkable that he can just continue to get away with these murders because basically all these people in, I guess what you would call in his position or, somewhat to his level.
Sure.
Because, he's this high-ranking vice president,
allegedly.
Quotation marks, allegedly, at Murders and Acquisitions,
yes.
firm, which, I don't know too much about it, but I know they make a lot of money.
I bet they do.
A lot of money. So, and he basically can't do no wrong because no one takes him serious.
No one listens to the guy. No one really cares what he has to say. He kind of just flies under the radar in the worst way.
In the worst way, exactly, because to him, that's the worst thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not getting caught. It's that nobody realizes it's him or can believe it's him.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly that.
For him, that's like the ultimate honor.
Right.
Right? That he's, this high-ranking guy, but at the end, he's really not.
Yeah.
So anyways, very well put. Basically feeling that he can get away with all the murders, he states, this confession has meant nothing. The end. So I really love the voiceover narration at the end.
It was very good.
Very good. One of the best ones. Since this movie technically counts as a horror film, again, I call it more like a dark comedy.
Yeah, I would say like psychological dark comedy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's like horror, like a traditional horror movie.
Right. Maybe even thriller.
Yeah,
maybe. But definitely not, in my opinion, a horror movie. But since it's technically considered one, I'll go ahead and do the kill count, which we usually do on horror films. So if my count is correct, I've totaled 16.
Wow.
However, in my opinion, in my humble opinion,
right,
that number's 0.
Yes.
Which I don't believe none of these have been murdered.
Right.
Right. I think it's just in his head. It's like a fantasy, basically.
Yes.
So, I mean, what can I say? I love this film. To me, it's probably Bateman. It's probably Christian Bale's best performance.
Yes, agreed.
I really like him in The Pianist and no, that's Adrian Brody. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was gonna say in The Machinist.
I haven't seen that.
Where he's like really skinny.
No.
That's a good one. He went down like I forgot to what weight, but he went down to like I don't know, let's just say 130 pounds.
That can't be healthy for a man.
And then he bulked up to like 210 or 220. The Batman movie.
Oh yes, that I did know.
So, anyways, to me this is his best performance. I think everything is great. You know, it's like I said, not a horror film, but definitely a dark comedy, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
It's very funny, very quotable.
The one I can kind of it's not a movie, but what I can kind of relate it to is like The Sopranos, which you and me have been watching, right? Yes, I've watched it, and you're almost close to finishing it.
Yes,
right?
yes. I was just about to say that too.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you go into the series not knowing exactly what it is. You kind of have an idea, but you never think it's this funny.
Yeah,
right,
right.
And it's funny just kind of like in this sense where these guys are these, high-end investment bankers from New York,
right,
making a bunch of money and this and that, but they're very hollow.
Very hollow.
And shallow. Yeah, they're missing something. And in The Sopranos, it's these tough, masculine mobsters.
Right.
But yet they have the ego of a child.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these situations in The Sopranos could be avoided with a simple sorry.
Yeah.
Or just shutting up,
Yes, 100%.
So in that sense, they're very similar, and I really like this dark comedy aspect of these shows and movies.
Yeah.
To me, it just, I don't know, keeps me hooked.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So we're going to go to our rating system. If you don't know, 1 star is equal to 1 tub of popcorn on a scale of 10. I'll let you go first this time, as I believe this was your movie recommendation.
Yeah, I give this one a 10 out of 10 tubs of popcorn.
Ooh.
I love this movie. I never get tired of it. I've probably seen it like 5 times already.
Ooh, okay.
I really love this movie. It never gets old to me. Honestly, it's just one of those movies I could just throw on and watch it the next day and watch it the next day and go on. I just love the dark comedy. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
It's really funny.
And it makes you think a little bit. It's not something that you can maybe passively watch. I think it makes you think about what you're actually watching.
Yeah.
Which I tend to enjoy. And I think all the actors did a great job.
Yeah, and I think you're right. On the first time, maybe second time that you watch it, you kind of have to pay attention.
Right.
You and me that we watched it, who knows how many times.
Right.
We kind of don't need to.
Yes.
Because we get the plot of it. We get the gist.
Yes, definitely. And I think, I think it's one of those movies where if you're not paying attention, you might misunderstand it.
Right.
If you weren't really paying attention, or you're in and out of the room, or you're just on your phone, you might think like, oh, he just murdered a bunch of people.
Right.
When in reality, that's all the signs point to that not being true.
Right.
Which really you would only capture if you were actually actively paying attention and understanding what was happening.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'll go with my rating. I think you're gonna think it's blasphemy. It's not. I give it 8.5 tubs of popcorn.
Oh, that's not terrible. I thought you were gonna say 5.
No, not 5. Not 5.
Yeah, I was about to say, oh, relax.
This it's a weird for me because I would rank this film as one of my favorite films. Me watching it.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Sure.
Like the way I like to watch films, what I kind of like to watch, this is higher ranked.
Okay.
Now the reason I'm giving it this is because I'm trying to, the way I try to do this in any of these movies that we review, I try to do it from unbiased, just looking at the whole theme, you know? Sure. So that's why. So, you know, like for example, and this is going to be a funny one, but for example, I really love Scooby-Doo and the Zombie Island, right?
That's a good movie.
That's a good movie. Now, if you put it compared to other animated films, you know, like The Wild Robot and you know, the Spider-Man Across the Universe or Spider-Verse, right?
Great one.
Yeah, those. It's probably not that great, right?
Okay, yeah.
But to me, it's like a 10 out of 10.
Sure.
Personally.
Yes.
But if I was to rank it as a critic, analyst, I wouldn't give it 10 out of 10. So if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
definitely get that.
That's why I give it 8.5 tubs. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. I think everything is really well done. The actors, the cinematography. But you know, watching it not just this time, but a couple times, the climax kind of feels a bit flat in the sense that I guess the whole time it's supposed to be ambiguous, right? Whether it really happened or not.
Right.
But, you know, his lawyer basically says that he never killed Paul Allen because he had dinner with him.
Right.
Right? So to me, that kind of, I don't know, that throws away the main point of the movie, which is killing Paul Allen.
Okay,
right?
Sure.
The main domino, let's say.
Yeah.
But never actually tipped over. That domino never tipped over. So
right.
I don't know.
I can see what you're saying. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
I think if they would have just left it ambiguous, I think it would have gone up a little bit more.
Okay.
But just that, and you know, again, some of the surrealism. I'm not a big guy into that.
Yeah.
You know, that whole thing with the cat in the ATM. Oh. That part never really worked for me.
Sure.
But yeah, you know, even though I have these few little critiques or whatever, I think it's a great film and one that I highly recommend, you know. Like I said, in my personal thing, this is high up.
Right.
You know, because I love this film. Yeah. I'm like you, I can watch it over and over and I get a kick out of it every time.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? But yeah, anyways, I give it 8.5 tubs of popcorn.
All right, that's still high.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And this is one I always recommend. I actually recommended this to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Years and years ago. So
back in the olden days. No, just kidding.
Probably like 5 years ago, right?
I know, right?
Probably. You know, I wanted to tell you this real quick and get your thoughts on it, but
sure.
There's a theory. Now, again, I'm not too big into these conspiracy theories with movies, but there's a theory that the father, Bateman's father,
yeah,
you know, since he's basically owns the firm, right?
Yes.
That he actually paid off the lawyer to lie and make it seem like nothing happened, and that he paid these people to clean up the body, you know, and all this stuff. Right. So he's always behind his son cleaning up the thing. I don't buy into that because we never get anything with the father.
Right.
Yeah. And so anyways, that's why I don't buy into it, but I thought it was an interesting theory.
It's interesting. I mean, if there was more said about his father, maybe it would be easy for the viewer to buy into it. But I'm kind of with you. I like the creativity of that theory, but I don't know if there's any single piece that would hold up to it.
Right.
But it's fun.
Yeah, definitely fun. So we're going to do our movie recommendations, and this time I'll go first. My movie recommendation for the week is the 1999 classic Fight Club. I love this film. It's one of my favorites. And the reason I picked it, it's kind of gave me the same psychological thriller elements similar to American Psycho.
Yeah.
We also get a unreliable narrator.
You're right.
Right, which I really love. And I feel like it's just done a little bit better than American Psycho.
Sure.
I saw it this year.
Yeah, me too.
Fight Club, yeah. And I really loved it. Like
Tyler Durden.
Durden?
Yeah, isn't it?
Right? Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Durden.
Durden, yeah. I don't know why that sounded weird to me.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, this thing like skyrocketed on my movie list.
It's definitely. I think it's like on the internet. It's like characterized as like a bro movie.
A bro, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I could see that.
Yeah.
I think it's a good movie, but I wouldn't say it's like up there. No. I think Requiem for a Dream wrecks that movie, in my opinion.
Ooh, let me think.
That's a good movie.
I love that movie.
It was good.
It was good. I have a little recency bias, but I think I'll also agree.
Right.
But you know, the thing with Requiem for a Dream, it's such a sad, haunting movie.
It is sad.
Like, I probably wouldn't watch it for a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I feel that.
Like, just because it's very disturbing.
Yes, it's very, honestly, it really is disturbing.
It's really
It's
disturbing.
so good.
But I would watch Fight Club again just because it's
fun.
It's fun. Yeah. Like you said, it's like a film bros film, right? But yeah, so anyways, and I also think kind of like this film, which I don't think we really touched on, but this film is a big satire on yuppie culture.
Yeah.
80s overindulgence,
Right.
Wall Street culture. And Fight Club, similar to that, is a satire on white collar America with themes of like commercialism and all that stuff, right?
Sure.
But yeah, anyways, it has a great cast. I really love the cinematography on it. It's an engaging story. To me, makes it all a winner. So if you're interested in watching it, it's available on Hulu.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. Good movie recommendation.
Thank you.
Yes. So for this week's episode, my movie recommendation is Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I haven't watched that, but I've heard it's great.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I think I like American Psycho a little bit better, in my opinion.
Right.
That might just me being biased. But I do like Nightcrawler. It is very, very similar to American Psycho.
Okay.
In the way that it's kind of like unreliable narrator, psycho themes. Like, is this guy okay? Like, what's going on? Basically, it's like Jake Gyllenhaal is like a...
You're like a cop or something?
No, not a cop. He's like almost like a reporter.
Oh, okay.
In a way. Or a journalist, I suppose.
Yeah.
A mixture of both, what have you. Anyways, he does like the night shift. So he reports on like car crashes that happen at night and, things that happen at night, basically.
For like a news company?
Yes, if I remember right, yes. I watched this movie a while ago.
Okay.
Maybe like a year ago. Last summer, maybe. But I did really like it.
Yeah.
But anyways, he kind of gets really, really, really into it. Almost like he loses himself into his work.
His obsession.
Right. It's very, very much like obsession. Like, I want to do everything right. I want to be the person on the scene. I want to break the story. Which turns into, intensity. And it's very intense, but it's a very good movie.
Very Black Swan.
Yes.
Vibes, right?
Yeah, very Black Swan, Whiplash.
Yeah.
Wanting to be perfect, but obviously nobody's perfect, so you're never going to make it to that. Anyways, that's my movie recommendation. When I saw it, it was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but I'm sure you can find it somewhere.
It's not. I looked it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's funny. I actually looked this up like a few days ago. I couldn't find it.
Boo. Well, hopefully it rotates into one of the streaming services. I'm sure it will, but it's a good movie.
Oh, nice. I wanted to watch that one. It seems interesting, but like I said, it just hasn't been on streaming when I wanted to watch it, so.
That's usually how it goes.
But yeah, I'm going to put that one on my watch list. That one seems interesting. Something I think I like.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So yeah, that's a good one. Really good one.
You.
I think that's a 2014 film, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so somewhat recent. I mean, it's been a decade, so I guess.
That's scary.
That is scary.
That's really scary.
But yeah, somewhat recent, so that's a good choice. Very good choice. But yeah. If you don't have anything else to add, I don't.
This episode was good. This is a good recommendation. Pat on the back for me. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I feel like this is a comfort film for you.
It is.
Right?
Yeah, I really do love this film. Honestly, I was telling somebody this maybe a few weeks ago, but I said that I think for me, I don't know why, but every time I think of Christmas, I think of American Psycho.
Really?
Yeah, because some people watch A Christmas Story or Home Alone or what have you, and I'm like, oh, American Psycho. I think that's Christmas. I don't know if it's because it's New York and like cold, but something about it just screams Christmas to me.
That's funny because I guess I never heard that one before.
Really? I swear, I feel like that is like a Christmas movie. Even if it's not outright, like, I don't know, it just screams Christmas to me.
That's interesting. That's like Die Hard. They say that's a Christmas film, which I don't
I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's a good one, but I don't see where they get that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe because it's around Christmas time, but other than that, it's...
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I
guess so.
Really nothing else to do with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
But I guess it works out for our theme of...
Yeah, I know, literally. That's why I was like, that's perfect. But no, this was a really good movie. I do recommend that you guys see it. It's very, very fun to watch. Funny to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah, this was a really good one. Yeah, I mean, basically everything you said. I really like it. To me, also, it's kind of a comfort film. Kind of like you said, I can have it in the background and just, go around my day. And, there's certain scenes that I like to watch. So
yeah, you'll tune in real quick and it's like, okay, I'm going to finish the laundry.
And it's funny because even some days I'm just like bored and, going through YouTube. And sometimes I just click in like Patrick Bateman and his business card.
Yeah.
Because I love that scene.
Oh, so funny.
I think it's hilarious.
It is funny.
So, anyways, I really like this recommendation, and I think, I'll start seeing it as a Christmas movie too.
Yeah, right. You heard it here first. It's a Christmas movie. Yeah.
So, anyways, we can wrap up this episode of the Movie Hour. Thank you guys for listening. Happy holidays. Have a safe time with your family, friends, pets, and we will see you on the next one.
See you on the next one. Happy holidays.
See ya.
See ya.